I think
Right.
she's just not used to it, you know?
Yeah. All right, welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. My name is Ben Steger. I'm here to answer shooting questions. Today, to Mr. Tim Aaron,
What's up, guys?
Angry Matt Hopkins, Backdoor Hopkins,
Hi,
Grumpy Matt.
Backdoor Hopkins, I like it.
You got so many water on the stages, Hopkins.
That was so 2015.
You're known for your shenanigans at this point. Okay, got a couple interesting questions today. So I don't see any reason to delay. Let's get started. All right, I'll read an excerpt from an email I got. I realize that at your level of shooting, you immediately know how well you shot based on perceived time and points called. But what about those who can't do that or who want to know an exact hit factor from a stage? What about wanting to know how a shooter in another squad is progressing through the match? I've given up chasing around the cranky RO holding the tablet. Now I just have to be okay with checking practice score once I get home to see how I stacked up. Does knowing the score go against the rules or spirit of USPSA that I'm not aware of? I mean, how awful would an NFL game be if you had to do the scoring math while watching it or only knowing who won once you got home and flipped on ESPN? I think a scoreboard would be an excellent addition to USPSA matches where competitors and spectators could see exactly where everyone stands in real time. Practice score seems sophisticated enough to handle this, right? Judging by the Score Peaking podcast, it seems that many guys wouldn't have an interest in seeing their scores, which may fuck with their mindset. At least this is what it sounded like coming from Tim and Matt, but what the hell do they know? I want a scoreboard, damn it. I want to be able to point to it and trash talk like Larry Bird.
So, just one point real quick. Easy win score can do this. So, I'm sure practice score can.
Well, is this
Easy win score is able to be dropped at a match with the computer and like a TV, and you can scroll through and get your scores. They did this in like 2012 double tap, so it's been around a while.
right? And well, nowadays, anybody on your squad, you could go through the tablet that you're using to score, and you could look at scores. Conceivably, I mean,
Yeah.
granted, they'll probably be busy scoring the stage, and won't want you jacking with the tablet.
We'll just start helping score the stage. Then you can back with the tablet.
Well, what do you think about it, Matt? Does
It'd be
USPSA
cool.
need a
I mean-
scoreboard? Do we want that?
Like, they've done it at majors. It's cool. It's kind of it can be a distraction, I guess, because you can have your squad mates going over there like checking their score, not actually helping and stuff like that. I mean, we have enough of that going on anyway, really.
Well,
People seem to complain about, you know.
yeah, it
I don't
says
think we need another distraction.
yes. Well, it says in here that the competitors and the spectators might like a scoreboard, essentially.
What spectators?
Well, yeah, that was the point I was about to make, because there are no spectators. But then you could just as easily come back and be like, well, that's why there's no spectators.
Well, then we should have bleachers at every bay also, then, right? Just to be ready for them.
What do you think, Tim?
I honestly don't care one way or the other. So,
Well, you would care if you were the guy that had to wire up the scoreboard.
yeah, if I was the guy that had to wire everything up and run that shit, I'm thinking I'll pass. So, I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't make or break the sport for me. I don't think it makes or breaks the sport for probably 95% of the people that shoot USPSA.
99%.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think about how this would be better than having everything sort of live update on practice score and assuming you're on a range where you have reception and everybody's device can kind of see what's going on. I mean, that seems more plausible to me than getting scoreboards up. Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think the only thing for that to happen is basically you just have to have a strong enough Wi-Fi signal in order for every single tablet to be able to sync, with the main tablet, like every single time you input another shooter's score.
Yeah.
That would
I
be,
mean, where we are right now, we're not really that far off from this, though.
No, I don't think so.
Would you like that, Hopkins?
I'd like to see it used over like broadband, like 4G or something. Having that good a wireless network would probably be pretty tough, and I don't think very many ranges have that.
The other problem with this is that people shoot different stages at different times. So unless people are squatted together, the scoreboard still doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot.
Right, it's pretty meaningless.
I'm still trying to figure out, like, what would you do? Like, have it where all the competitors are standing or something? I don't get it.
I assume you'd need one for every stage, right?
Man, that's a lot of resources.
Yeah.
I think we got to get to, like, 2010 century, like, time decade, you know?
I think we got to get water on all the bays.
Well,
first.
we need a best practices for shooting a match. I'm not even going to go into it on this, but Foley, I'll get with Foley, I'll draft it up, and we'll get it out there. It's not going to be a rule. It's going to be a best practices.
You know what I think would be way cooler than having scoreboards?
What?
Not having to paste your targets.
That'd be way.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
If my level of importance, see, scoreboards would be here. I can't even see it. It's so low.
I can't see it. It's too low on the screen. If you're listening to the audio rep,
The
you can't see Hopkins.
not pasting targets is, see my hand going up?
Yeah.
It's so high up there.
It's all the way up. And where would you put having water on the bays?
Oh, man. Dead center.
Yeah, it's like somewhere in the middle, right?
Yeah.
What about shooters exiting out the back of the stage?
I'm going to make that happen this year, so there's nothing going to be said about that.
Hopkins, I haven't interacted with anybody on that topic that hasn't promised to fuck with you about it.
It's fine, dude. I'm ready this year.
All right, Tim.
Yes.
So you don't think this is a stupid idea? You just think this is
Just
not that important?
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I just think it's not that important. To
I'll
me, it's
tell
just
you what, though.
kind of a waste of resources. It could be used for, I don't know.
Yeah, but all you motherfuckers know that if they had a live scoreboard of any description, people would be gathered around that thing all the time.
Oh God, yeah. And that's fine because let it fuck their game up. That's.
I don't really care either way. I don't think it'd mess me up, really, if there was one. I think it'd put a little more pressure on people if it's like they knew exactly, like, going down to the last stage of Nationals. Somebody was, like, 1 point behind.
Yeah?
I think that could change the dynamic. I mean, really. How many Nationals are decided within a few points? I mean, that's kind of...
I mean, I think the relevant players usually know the score, don't they?
Yeah, but do they know it exactly? Going down to the 18th hole on the golf course, I'm
pretty fucking close.
Nick here. Yeah, but have they been wrong?
Have I been wrong?
I don't know. I don't think you were real sure about last year's production nationals.
I was pretty sure.
Okay.
Didn't I tell you the point spread?
I don't remember.
You asshole. I called that shit like Babe Ruth, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Oh, shit.
I didn't even have to tell you the order. I told you not just the order, but the spread.
Yeah.
But I suppose your contention is that most people can't do that kind of math in their head.
No, I mean...
You're not wrong.
I mean, if you could, like,
I can't
pull
do
it up
that
off
in
your
my head.
phone while you're standing in the bay, that would be a step in the right direction. Why don't we just upload after every stage? Practice score.
Well, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That's kind of a more realistic thing that is actually, you know, I could actually see that happening in the very near future.
Yeah.
We're not too far off that.
We'll have to get away from paper first for nationals.
So I've never been to one of these matches that has like a live scoreboard. Or what did they have, like a computer you could mess around on? What was it?
So you have your easy. Well, the one I dealt with was, and we did one in Florida also. So I've done two different.
Well,
the one double tap was a just like a drone box of the Easy Win Score.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they uploaded it, you could click your name, see kind of where you're at, and then you could click a stage if you shot it or not, and then it would pull up the scores for that stage. But basically, it was just like a download from Easy Win Score.
Mm-hmm.
It was updated when they updated it.
So it wasn't a live scoreboard exactly.
It wasn't really live. The one from South America was actually live, where you got basically a credit card with the RFID or something in it. You put that over the computer thing, and it would print out your stage scores.
Whoa, that sounds pretty tight, actually.
It was pretty cool.
I mean, it's totally unnecessary, but it's cool.
Well, they didn't have to do anything at the bay. To get your confirmation, you went over to the printer. That was like every 3 bays, and printed your sheet.
Huh.
Why hasn't that happened since? Would be my question.
I don't know. I mean, that was a pay program. They were in it to make profit on it. I've only seen it run in a few matches. And there's always been in Florida at USA.
Huh. I would be curious if that's so badass why it hasn't happened again.
I think they probably want too much money, and I heard they don't actually return emails or anything like that.
So they don't exactly have CZ USA level of support, right?
I'm not. You can get me in trouble.
What? I'm sure if it's a shipping issue, you get a quick email, right?
I mean, I made a guy in California real happy last week is all.
Okay. Well, I think you provide excellent service, Matt.
I try to.
All right. Tim, you have anything to add to this?
Not really.
No, I mean about Hopkins' level of service.
Oh, stand-up level of service. 100%.
He's for shit at answering Facebook messages if they're personal, but I think he's good on a business level.
And text messages. Text messages, yeah, it's 2 or 3 days before you get an answer back from him.
I'm just going to shut it off.
Shut off your phone?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's going to get people faster responses, homie.
No, I'm just going to never know about them, so...
so then you never get a response, because I'm too slow, and that'll show you guys.
I think we're a long way from instant scoring, though. I don't see the benefit still, even if it's people shooting together.
I think the fundamental problem is that people don't shoot together.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you can know where you are in your squad, but you can't, or I shouldn't say you can't. It's really tough to know where you are in the match.
Well, you just think about doing it at a local, okay, or even a state match, right? A one-day state match, you have 8 stages, 8 squads. You're not going to know what the squad 3 stages ahead of you did. And then, they're not going to know what you did because of tablets.
Well, no, let's say that it's all live, that you can see their scores on that stage.
What's it do, though?
Well, you would still have to be badass enough to know, who
how
should
good you can do?
Yeah, how good you should be doing, or if anybody made some mistake, you would know that. You know, some guy you're shooting against made some mistake.
Yeah.
But you'd have to know what the stage winning score will be, if the stage has already been won for the match or not. There's still a lot of mental math you'd have to be able to do, and a lot of judgments you'd have to make that prevents you from having a truly live picture of the scores.
What if each stage had its own live, overall?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You could do that, but that, if you have a bunch of scrubs shoot a stage, not to be a dick, but you have a bunch of scrubs shoot a stage, the stage will have been won in the overall, right? At that moment, every stage will have a winner at that moment. But you'd have to look at that and be like, no, that's not real. So people's scores will change over the course of the match relative to the stage winner.
I don't think anybody is not thinking that.
Well, no, they'd learn in a big fucking hurry, wouldn't they, Matt?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, so you'd have to be hip to all that stuff, Tim.
Yeah.
And be able to sort it out in your head. You have to not only know know about the stage that's been shot, but you have to know who shot it and who's going to shoot it.
That's too much shit for me to even want to worry about. Like, all I want to do is
I'm saying.
go to a stage and shoot the damn stage and
I'm not
move
even
on.
worried about that shit.
See where we're at with this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you see it being any benefit, Ben? For you personally?
No. I don't fucking care.
I think it'd be cool for like people trying to follow at home or something, maybe.
No, for all the reasons I just described, it'd probably be more confusing. Because they'd be looking at a stage, and like I said, there's a stage winner there, and then somebody else comes in and wins the stage, and then everybody else's points change.
Yeah.
Their match points change. And
Well,
then
yeah,
people
I
be
mean-
like, what the fuck's going on with this? Why does he have less points now?
Somebody tracking that should know that happens, though.
Yeah, well, if it's just
Like,
some
if you're
tard...
the first on stage 1, your high factor is not going to probably hold up, right?
Yeah, but if it's some tard shooting or watching at home who doesn't know what's going on,
Oh, I don't know.
or if it's somebody who like if there's going to, we're really way off in fantasy land now, but if there's people spectating who know nothing, they would probably be just more confused than enlightened by the scores.
I would agree with that.
If they're seeing them on a live basis and watching them change, they'd be like, what is going on with this shit?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. If you just tell them everybody's points in time, and they're like, wow, 18 seconds with 100 points, that's pretty good. And it's like, oh, then they'd be confused with like, whoa, this guy's 17 seconds, but only 98 points. I don't know, is that good?
Winning.
Then they ask you the classic question, how many seconds is a point worth? To which you give the classic USPSA answer, it depends.
You say 100 points? I just want to...
Matt, you're playing into their hands. I think it's a mid. Well, never mind. You don't need to get into all that. But the scoring system's complicated enough that trying to have casual understanding of it's pretty tough. It's like you want to be fast and you want to get a lot of points, and to understand it beyond that means you have to kind of understand the whole picture, which is tough.
So, no go for now, are you saying?
I would get water on the bays before I'd get this. This is like...
Yeah, I mean...
like, you remember how at USSA they had, like, chicks out there to greet everybody that one year? And, like, give people water?
Yeah.
I think they were strippers or something. Like, if I was king for a day, like, that would happen before this would.
Why don't we have a Hooters
That's how
sponsored
important I
tournament
think this is.
and have Hooters girls
Say
out
it's
there?
not. What?
Why don't we do a Hooters sponsored tournament?
No, I
Get the
like where your
Hooters
head's at,
girls out
Matt.
there.
No, what I'm saying, like, we'd have water on the bays. We'd have
Water.
people pasting the targets.
Hooters girls pasting targets.
Oh, come on, dude.
Why
You gotta
not?
treat them right. Why? Why not? Why? That's where you just have other people do that. Hooters girls are expensive, dude. You don't like hire. Then I don't know if there'd be enough Hooters girls to go around if you have a big nationals. You probably want 3 or 4, girls on a stage to reset it. Like, where are you gonna come up with that many Hooters girls, Matt? Use your head. You can't. We're gonna bust them in from
We're
neighboring
gonna have a
towns.
6-stage nationals. It'll be fun.
Gonna bust them in.
I don't know.
I'd still be in on the hiring a group of people to come out and paste targets, reset the stages for the shooters.
Well, I'm just
That'd
saying, like, all
that'd
of
be
that
awesome.
shit would happen before there'd be live scoreboards.
Definitely.
But actually, I have seen a range. I've seen a range that has this, but I haven't seen it in operation. But I know that they have it at the Object in Moscow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they have like a lounge where you can sit in there and chill, and then you have cameras to show you what's going on in every bay. So you can see people shooting in the bay. They're like high-angle cameras.
Yeah.
So you can see, you can actually get a good view of the action, and it shows scores on stages. I'm not sure how often they update it or whatever, but
How many bays does that range have?
6.
6 bays?
It's deceptive because a couple of them are huge. A couple of them are big enough for like 4 stages,
Holy cow!
and they're building 6 more underneath.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. Yeah, so no, none of this is important to me. The live scoring, and for people listening, I'm joking about the Hooters girls. That's not important to me either. That'd be like 9th on my list of things to do. To fix
What
matches.
would be your number one?
What would be your top 3?
What's your
The top
prioritize?
3 things
top
Yes.
3? Yeah.
that I would change?
If you were king for the day,
Yeah, for USPSA.
Now you're scaring me, man. My heart's thumping.
like
So
legit,
exciting.
like legit stuff. Like what would be your top 3? Like this would change, and I would love to see this.
I would for area matches and above, I'd probably more aggressively police the stage design.
Okay.
Yeah. So like to kind of enforce some semblance of balance, I would do that. I'd have no resetting. Not competitors not resetting. We could do it like they do at a match I shot in Canada, where if you're a competitor, like you work a day, but you don't shoot that day, or you don't shoot that shift or whatever. I wouldn't mind that system either. But just like while you're shooting, you don't fuck around with that stuff. That just makes for a much more fun experience. What's the third thing I'd do? I don't know. I'd save the third one.
Any rules or anything?
I'd fix popper calibration. That fucking shit is fucked.
That's what I figured you'd say.
Pisses me off. God, fuck that rule. So
I
stupid.
think you just got a little red in the face, Matt.
I fucking hate that rule. It makes me really angry that I don't know who it's going to happen to, but at pretty much every major match that ever is or will be, somebody's going to get ass raped on popper calibration. Somebody. You don't know who it's going to be, but it's going to happen to someone. And all you got to do is you kind of like roll up next to him, you just pat him on the back. I'm sorry, man. I'm there. It's just your turn, I guess.
It's so true, though.
It's so true. The worst one ever was Yantola. Like, I've had it happen to me and have it be bad, but the worst ever was
Which one
Yantola.
was that one?
You guys weren't there. But I watched him, like, center punch a mini popper. Like, not in the calibration circle, but dead center in it. And the thing wasn't far away. It was like 10 yards. Didn't move. It was like, holy shit, dude. And, yeah, he's taking a mic on that one. That's just the way it goes.
Oh, that
Yep.
sucks.
It does suck. And like the worst part is the culture in the sport where people are so fucking stupid. Like half the people listening right now are thinking, "Well, you should shoot major." That's what half the people are thinking right now.
The other half don't know what you're
The other half
saying
have no
about calibration issues.
What do you mean calibration? If you so you shoot it once, it doesn't fall, then they
Just
shoot
shoot that
it
son of a bitch
again,
again.
and if it falls that time, then you get a mic. Okay. That's scientific, if I've ever seen it. I mean, it's about as intelligent as what they do with the fucking duck and the witch, you know? Monty Python.
Never seen it.
Jesus.
All I hear is quotes about it, and they sound retarded, so I don't.
Well, the movie's totally retarded, but it's beautifully retarded. I mean, there's like, how do you quote even modern classics that you really like, Matt, like Tropic Thunder? Like, how do you quote that without sounding retarded?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
No, I understand it's like stupid funny, but
Yeah, exactly. Well, you should watch Monty Python, and when you get to the part with the duck and the witch, you'll understand. That reminds me of popper calibration.
right.
It's about that stupid.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's move on to another question. Now that you got me all pissed off about that.
What, dude? I was like 50-50 on it. I'm like, either proper calibration or it's going to be like acts and divisions.
Oh, yeah. Well, obviously some divisions have to go.
So that'd be like number 4.
Yeah.
Or would you rearrange them at this point?
No, I'd leave, like, proper calibration's number 1 just because that's so fucking simple. Like, that's just the board sitting down right. Like, all right, listen up, Foley. How the fuck are you guys sitting there writing rules for more dumbass divisions we don't need? You're not fixing proper calibration. What the fuck? It's a rule that everybody with their head screwed on straight agrees is completely broken.
Dude, I don't think the RMs think it's broken.
They're fucking retarded then. Like, if you don't think, if you're an RM and you think proper calibration's okay, you are a fucking retard.
Drazy had it the best. I think Drazy had his head screwed on the best about it.
Like, those are, like, I'm not trying to offend people who don't know, but, like, if you're an RM and you're exposed to the rule, like, and you know how it works, if you don't think that's jacked up, like, I got nothing. You should not be officiating a sport because you're an idiot. Now, I understand if people get done in, like, people getting done in and you being like, well, that's the rules, you know, and that's how it goes. Like, that's a different attitude. But if you think that's fair or right, you're an idiot.
Drazy's best was he'd go up and shoot it about an inch from the base, no matter what popper it was. Automatic reshoot basically 99% of the time. I was the 1%. I had it good. Drazy went up and shot the base of it, and the fucker fell over.
And I'm sure he was apologetic about it, wasn't he?
He was. He's like, I tried, man. I don't know what else I could do.
Exactly. He's like, this rule's broken. I'm going to do everything I can to have this thing shake out in your favor. If it doesn't, I'm going to recognize that you got screwed.
Yeah, I saw him go up and literally do that like 3 times before that, and like popper didn't even budge. The one time I call for it, done. Falls over.
Yeah. Yes, they should be fixing that shit before they write new divisions. That's my take on it. Jesus. Like, I really hate it when shit's just like blatantly unfair. I really hate it. Drives me fucking bananas. Like, you assholes can do whatever you want with the prize table, but just have that shit be a fair match. God. Okay, let's move on. So you get me rolling, Matt.
That was good.
I can't stop myself. This is like the maddest I've been.
Yes, it is.
So fucking mad, the popper calibration.
Oh.
What's wrong, Tim?
You're gonna go to bed tonight and just be thinking about that
I'm
shit.
sitting there like clenching my fists. I'll be like just sitting there like,
Just take 5 minutes and do a rewrite and submit it to him.
It's like
literally,
year after year after year, we keep having popper calibration. Something that is clearly fucked. They keep doing it. Ugh. Okay.
Question. Next question. Moving on.
Yeah, we are moving on. Shit, I forgot where I put the question. Stand by while I click around.
I got it. You want me to read it?
Yeah, read it.
All
I
right.
found it now.
I find myself reloading at times when my stage plan does not dictate a reload. Really, I am reloading every time I am moving and finding myself not consciously thinking of anything during the stage. What do you think of after the buzzer goes off? Are the reload spots ingrained in your mind by the point you don't need to think about them? Or are you consciously thinking of when your reload should happen and counting the shots as you take them? So a couple questions in there.
Well, do you want to start us off, Matt, or does Tim want to?
I'll let Tim.
Yeah, that's fine. I would say first is that he's probably ingrained reloading every single time he's moving based on probably what he's doing in practice training or in dry fire. So, and unfortunately you keep repping that every single time that, okay, if my feet are moving, I'm dropping a mag and reloading. then yeah, unfortunately, I definitely could see that crossing over and biting you in the ass at a match. What do I consciously think about them? I do. I mean, that's part of my stage plan is also knowing exactly the spots I want to reload, where I want those reloads to be performed at, and where I need to top the gun off, and so on and so forth. So I would say that he definitely needs to kind of train or change up his training a little bit to possibly not be so reload emphasized every single time he goes to the range or dry fires.
Go ahead,
Your
Ben.
turn, Hopkins. You want me to go?
Yeah.
All right.
That's a question I'll answer last.
All right. This is a pretty common problem. You got to dissociate reloading from moving your feet, which sounds kind of weird, but a lot of guys in low cap divisions, when they're training, dry fire, live fire, whatever, they're training themselves. They practice moving and reloading, but oftentimes I find guys who practice, or I should say they never practice moving without reloading. So you got to practice it both ways. So you're kind of in command of whether or not you're going to reload when you move. Because if you never practice moving your feet without reloading, you're going to reload every time you move your feet, because on a stage you kind of default to your training. So I think that's the problem there. So start doing movement training without doing reloads. As a little side benefit from that, you're also going to get better at moving around, because you won't be always doing a reload with it. So you can work on your technique a little bit more. And I don't think you need to be counting your rounds. That's silly. Just you know where to reload. That's it.
This should be ingrained in your head.
Right.
You should have that memorized down to the T. Like, know exactly when you're going to do it, no matter how big or little the stage is. But I think one of the things, Ben was right on it. Like, you got to disassociate it. But one of the problems I hear is everybody says, "Oh, I'm shooting production." You got to reload every time you move. Every time you hear that, that's like furthering this bad habit. So stop talking about it. Stop hearing it.
Right.
So that's another thing I would try to get away from. Stop reading it and stop posting it on the goddamn forums. It doesn't make sense all the time. And it's the fucking idiot open shooters that just see us out there reloading all the time and think that.
Man, Matt.
And how do they make you feel, Matt?
They make me feel inferior, man.
It'd be fun as hell to have one of them things.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough for that shit, though.
I'm not good enough for it.
I'm not old enough for it.
I think that something no one answered, though, was... What? What did you say, Tim?
I said I'm not old enough for it.
Okay. They say, he said, what do you think of after the buzzer goes off? Do you want to address that a little bit, maybe?
It's a trick question.
It's a trick question?
Think about nothing.
Nothing? How do you not think about anything?
It's pretty easy. I do it a lot. Well, yeah. While I'm shooting, I'm not directing. Any thoughts I have aren't directing my actions. I'm not directing anything I'm doing consciously. It's all subconscious or unconscious, I should say. Just doing my thing. Any thoughts I have are observational in nature, like, man, it's hot outside, or, oh, that was a pretty bad mic there. I should make that up. That kind of stuff. That's usually what I'm thinking.
Say, you could see the brass flying out of the gun or something, or the spark shooting out the end of the gun for some reason on mine.
Or oh, I have to take a piss. I should have done that before the stage.
Yes.
It's nothing real complicated in my head.
Yeah.
I never really have anything too complicated up there.
Alright, I guess that one was too easy.
What? The question?
Yeah.
No, but it's such a common issue. I see that a lot. A lot.
People overthinking it? Or...
They're just like, you got to do it every time you move your feet. Or they're like, this guy's talking about counting rounds. Like, what the fuck, man? You're counting your rounds during the stage?
How would you even do... I can't...
Dude, there are
Actually doing
so
that.
many people that count rounds during the stage, or they're like, you watch them be like, you can tell they're kind of like thinking their way through the stage, and they'll be like, yeah, so I ran low over there, and I just had to change my plan. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What?
Yeah.
You're like changing your plan in the middle of the stage? Are you crazy? Like, if you shoot a 15-second stage in 30 seconds, there's time for that stuff. If you're going to shoot it in 15 seconds, there's no time for that stuff.
True.
Very
Less
true.
is more, my friends. Like, if I had to think my way through a stage and like be modifying my shit through the stage, it'd take me 30 seconds too.
Do you think you ever did that at some point, though?
No, I
Your first
figured out right
USPS?
away that was very unproductive.
You never did it then, really?
No. Why the fuck would you do that?
I mean, weren't all as good as we are now.
No, but I'm simple. I'm simple-minded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I read some stuff, and anything I was reading or thinking about, it was kind of like, that is not a productive thing to be doing. So it's pretty easy for me to accept that and to not do that. Kind of like guys are like, well, you should pick a gun and train with it, which is advice I give people now, right? But
Yeah.
what that meant for me was, well, I shoot a Beretta, so I'm going to stick with it. Right?
That was maybe a few years, but then after that, you were like, I'm gonna shoot a Beretta to fuck with people.
Also, yes, yeah.
I'm gonna shoot this Beretta to hear how many times. Why are you shooting that shitty gun?
Then I could sit there and be like, oh, it's not really that shitty. I mean, it's pretty okay, actually, when you think about it. But nobody's listening to that.
Is it just a stigma behind it or something?
What?
That it's a crappy military gun that they give to the
I think
troops, or
I think they were a bit shit when the military got them, and there were some design changes that made them better. Like they quit breaking all the time. Like the ones I've had don't break. They just don't.
yeah.
And they run really well. They run anything. You know how you get brass will curl over on the edges and it'll like fuck up the bullet, but then it'll go through the crimp die and it'll be like kind of jacked up looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Brett will run those. That's not a problem. Not at all. Like so that kind of stuff. Like the guns that I have will run anything, but the damage is done to the reputation, right? They're like, oh well, that gun sucks and it doesn't run, and then the factory triggers are heavy as balls.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, 12 pounds. That's pretty good. It's just
Single action.
bad. What?
12-pound single action.
Yeah, like 18 double. Probably. But it's smooth. It's a smooth 18, right?
It's crisp, I think is the right word. It breaks cleanly.
It breaks clean.
Breaks cleanly after 18 pounds.
Right, but that problem's solved by swapping a $6 spring, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, fundamentally, it really isn't a bad gun, but everybody hates on that shit anyway,
Yeah.
which is fine. They just don't know what they're missing. Well, I mean, people buy guns, you know, that are good, supposedly, and then modify the shit out of them.
To make them bad
Well,
or unreliable.
to make them better, but maybe less reliable. I mean, Matt, what do you wish people would stop doing to their CZs?
Putting too light of springs in it in general.
Because then what happens?
Becomes unreliable.
Well, there you go.
Using good magazines.
Well, you got to use the Met cars, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's the only thing I'd recommend.
What?
The Met cars.
That's all I recommend.
That's all
And
it's
with the
available for
Berettas,
you.
it was a problem because like every dumb motherfucker you pass is like manufacturing a magazine for those things.
Were they really?
Yeah, like Pro Mags, you don't want those.
Did they have a Chinese knockoff for
Military surplus checkmate mags, I can assure you, you don't want those.
Did they have a Chinese knockoff Mac?
I don't know.
No. Okay.
The Beretta mags probably don't want those.
Really?
Well, they put like a bunch of dumbass finishes on them.
Oh.
So they're like, hey, this finish for the inside of our magazines, I mean, it's cool, but it'd be better if it was grittier. So and they put that in there. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
Is that the anti-sand deterrent? Because it's already too gritty inside.
Yeah, it's
to put
like-
it anymore.
Dude, it'd be cooler if
You
it
can't
was
have any
gritty.
sand in this bitch. It's like, what are they thinking of? It's like, well, I'm not really sure. It's funny to me, like you get really big companies and you can have sometimes they make really weird decisions. Like I don't understand why you've done this. It's kind of like the Gen 4 Glock. Like, hey, we got this gun that's really good. Let's, change it. You know who's Matt? Who do you think's the worst with changing shit? Like which country would you say?
Ooh, I don't know. I mean, between like Europe and the U.S. is totally different. Like just the way of thinking. So like, it's hard to say. Like they don't think to fix something in midstream. It's like done at the beginning of the year, and that's basically it, kind of. I mean, they don't change it like in production, really, from what I've seen at least. And then they do a lot of work. I don't know. They'll change stuff without telling you and stuff like that. But to say they fix it, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you're having problems with grips,
I was
right?
gonna say the Italians. They just change what they want to change when they want to change it.
Like grips, right?
What's that? Like whatever.
Like grips.
You name it. And like that could be really good. That could be great. Like if something's jacked up, they'll just change it. But you never know what's gonna happen when you change shit. Right?
Yeah.
It's the problem with unanticipated problems. It's hard to anticipate them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we could see that all coming, then we'd know.
Well,
But
I'd ask people before they do it.
well, you can even ask people what people may not know. Like like with the little bit of manufacturing experience I have, I know that even in the simplest of products, if you make a little change, you might be surprised what happens. Or might be surprised what issues that creates.
Yeah.
But yes, the Italians, they just change shit. There's also a lot of inertia too. Like, Matt, have you been to the CZ factory?
Yes.
How long does it take them from milling the frame to the gun being done? How long does that take?
I want to say, so we were there on Thanksgiving, and we got guns that they were currently building on Thanksgiving in late January.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
So about 2 months.
Yeah,
Almost 2 months.
I think Bursa's 3 months.
Really? Holy crap.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
so it takes a long time for the pipeline to work its way through there.
True, yeah. And if they have a stockpile of parts, I noticed, they'll use all those parts before they do a new part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that only makes sense.
I think anybody would really. I mean, unless it's like a safety concern. Right?
I mean, you're asking me what I would do?
Oh, I'm just saying in general.
Dude, you go full Volkswagen on that shit and just
They
lie
do
about
that in cars, Tim.
it.
We noticed that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have to worry about safety there, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then
In the federal government.
there are so many, because there's so many other vendors too that make things for, well, like for a car, like frames are built by, say, one vendor, or the subframe's built by one vendor, and doors are built by another vendor. And then, of course, everything's got to be assembled. When then everything's assembled, then they've got they got a QC, all that stuff. So, oh yeah, and they do make changes on the fly on cars, but otherwise you'd have 150,000 units just sitting in port someplace that you can't do anything with until they're fixed. So.
Yeah. Well, we're way off topic here. I don't even remember how we got here, Matt.
I don't remember either.
Great. Another bang up job, guys. Thank you for listening, listener peoples. So if you guys have a question you'd like us to talk around and not answer, go to benstoeger.com. Send me that shit, and we will address your question. Great job, Matt.